What's going on, guys? Seancutshair back with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to take and edit better photos so you guys can upgrade your portfolio of your work for Instagram and for whatever else. But let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to give you a simple rundown of what I use. Guys, this will apply to most phones and most cameras. My phone is an iPhone 11 Pro Max, but if you guys have an iPhone 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they'll probably all be just fine. And the app that I'm going to show you will also be available for those phones as well. My camera is a Canon M50 with a Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens. Again, this will work with any DSLR camera. If you guys can pull your pictures off, send them to your phone and edit them on your phone. So anyway, I'm gonna show you guys how I go about taking my pictures, and then we'll move on to how I edit them. First off, I'm going to show you guys how to take photos. When I'm taking my photos, one thing I'm looking at is I don't want to give it the normal look that I see from the normal point of view. So sometimes I'll go above the head, below the head. I'm usually going to take them on a slight angle, and I want to take it zoomed out enough that I have room to crop it and get the exact size that I want, but not so far back that we lose the details. So as you guys can see in these examples, I'm pretty close and I can see all the details of the haircut, but I also can crop this down for Instagram or whatever I'm wanting to use it for. We're taking lots of pictures, guys. I usually take 10 to 15 at least of each haircut. After we get done taking all these pictures, we'll go through on the phone and I'll show you guys how I determine which ones I want to use, and then we can go from there. Now we're taking photos with the camera, and guys, I'm showing you, no matter what, you want the light facing the surface that you're taking the picture of. With the camera, I like to put the ring light even closer, and then I can use it almost as a tripod for my camera. Obviously, sometimes I bring the camera below the ring light and take the photos and get it at different angles, but I want the light facing the surface that I'm trying to take the picture of. All right, so now that we have all the pictures taken, let's head over to the phone. We'll start with the iPhone pictures, and I'll show you guys my process of selecting the pictures that I want, and then we'll edit a couple of those photos. All right, so you guys can see my camera roll. There's about 10 or 12 pictures right here, so I'm just gonna start at the first one, and we're gonna decide which ones that we want to edit. So what I'm looking for, guys, obviously this one, we can crop it, but Evan is in the background. I am looking at the haircut. The lighting is pretty decent. I can crop this down and get it a little bit tighter if I want, and I'm gonna save this one. Like I said, we'll look through them all and we'll narrow it down. So let's go on to the next one. That one's a little dark. We can edit that out. Obviously, this one is taken a little bit higher. First off, I'm gonna find the ones that we just can't use. So those two that I'm looking at, the second one is definitely worse of an angle, a little bit darker, and his beard blends into the chair behind him. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. This one doesn't look bad, it's a little bit darker. DW is right by his mouth behind him, so I don't like that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. This one kind of looks like his eyes are closed, so I don't like that as much. Again, we have multiples from this angle, so we're really wanting to pick the best one that we have. Now this one isn't bad at all. There's nothing distracting in the background. I like the angle of the photo and everything looks pretty good, so we'll save that one. This one's similar to the one before. His eyes kind of look closed, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop that one out. Now we moved on to the other angle. We'll go ahead and go through these last few and pick the ones that we like. So that one has his mouth open and his eyes closed. We're gonna toss that one. Again, mouth open, mouth open. Okay, so we have two left from this side. We got a pretty side profile, and then we have one that shows a little more of the front of his face. So I'm gonna save those two. Again, we'll keep narrowing down and decide which one we want, and then we'll edit one or two of these. So I like that this one is a little bit lower, where this one's a little bit on top and his beard blends into the cape, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that one out. This one again, his beard kind of blends into the chair behind, so I don't like that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. Now we should just have a couple left. This one again, the beard blends into the cape, so I'm gonna drop that one. And I think we have our best ones. So this one is definitely our best one from this side. Now we'll decide between these two. I think I like this one better because we get more of a side profile. We can really see the blend and also the beard and the enhancement. So we're gonna go ahead and drop this one. Now we have two pictures left. These are raw. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I edit these photos. So if you guys don't know, on the iPhone, all you have to do is hit edit at the top. Now we can do a couple different things here. We have our auto adjustment, and I'll show you guys simply using that, we get a little bit better of a photo. So that's one thing you guys can do, even if you don't wanna do this in depth of editing. All you gotta do is hit auto, and it will definitely make the photo much better looking. I'm gonna go ahead and hit done and we'll save that. Now if I go back to edit, if you guys look at the far right button, we have the crop photo button. What you can do is you can pinch and you can just zoom in if you want to leave this in landscape mode. If you guys want, you can hit the button in the top right, hit square, and now we have an Instagram shaped photo. So I'll go ahead and blow it up. I want to fill most of the space, but I also want to leave a nice amount of space around his head. So we're going to leave it right there. I'm going to hit done. We'll go ahead and go to the next one. Again, let's go ahead and crop it first. So I'm going to go square for Instagram. I'm going to blow them up decent size while leaving some space around each side. We'll go ahead and save it there. Let's go back to the first one. We did an auto edit. I want you guys to pay attention to these terms. And guys, just play with this. I don't necessarily really know what all of these terms mean exactly to explain it to you guys, but these are sliders, so just play with it and decide where you like the photo best. Really, at the end of the day, it's about what you think looks best on this photo. So we'll go to the next one. This is exposure. So guys, this is really the amount of light that comes into the camera. So you can see as I go to the right, it gets brighter. As I go to the left, it gets darker. So it was at about -3 or 4. You guys can see if we go above, it just gets too bright. We can adjust the brightness later. So I'll take it down just slightly like it was. I'm gonna leave it right there. Next is brilliance. This is an iPhone feature. This is not common on all editing software. But you guys can see as we take it down, we just lose some of the detail. So I wanna go up, I wanna get some of that, but not too much. It was around 40. So I'm gonna leave it about there. We're gonna go with about 30. Next is highlights. You guys can see basically anything that's bright in the photo, it is going to bring up and make brighter. So we want the highlights to be down just slightly. We'll go about -25. And then the shadows, it's the opposite, guys. So everything that's dark, if we bring this up, we're going to see more detail in the dark. If we bring it down, it's going to make it all just dark. So we want to have the shadows just slight enough where we can see detail in his hair. We want to see that texture. So we'll go about the same amount the other way. So highlights down, shadows up the same amount. Next is contrast. Guys, this is going to make the difference between your dark and light. So the higher we go, the darker and lighter everything gets, and the lower we go, the closer everything gets to the same. So I like to bring my contrast down a little bit. What that is going to do is show you more detail in the hair, as you guys can see. I'm going to go about -20. I like it right there. Next is brightness. So this is just simply brightness. This is going to do the whole photo. You can see it's way bright. If we take it down, it's going to be way dark. So you want to find something here right in the middle where you guys can see the detail, but also not too bright that it looks crazy like this. So we're going to go down to more of a natural look, and something here in a minute I'll show you guys will help with the background and taking the brightness away from that. So the next one is the black point. Guys, this just means how black is your black. So if I go dark, it's going to make it black. If I go light, it's going to make it gray. So I'm going to go just dark enough, a little bit darker than it was, and now you guys can see we have nice dark in his hair, and we still have that texture. Saturation, guys, is how much color is in the photo. So if I go up, it's going to be oversaturated. If I go down, we have no color. So naturally, I'm going to leave this pretty standard. We're just going to go up just a little bit. If we go up higher, guys, we're going to get really orange, really red on his skin. We don't want too bright there. That is for an artistic photo, something you can play with. You can just slightly reduce the saturation and get a cool look. But we're going to leave it just over normal. So I'm going to go about 5 over. Next is vibrance. This is just what it sounds, guys, vibrant. How vibrant are the colors you can see behind him now? We got bright reds and purples and blues and greens. If we go down, it makes it really flat. So again, I'm gonna leave that close to normal. I'm just gonna slightly go up. We'll just go 5 up on that. Next up is warmth. So you guys, warmth is how red or how blue everything is. If I take this up, it's gonna make everything more red, which makes the skin too red. If I take it down, it's gonna make it more blue. So think of it as hot and cold. So really what I'm looking for here is a natural look of the photo, but if his skin is very red, we want to take it down so his skin's not too red. You guys can see that's way too blue. It doesn't look natural, so I'm just looking for a natural look. Normally in my shop, we do get a little bit of redness, so I'm going to take it down. That's just slightly down, and you guys can see his skin tone still looks natural, but it's not too red. Next is tint, and I don't really play with this a lot. This is going to go, I don't even know what colors. Looks like green and red. I usually leave this pretty much towards the middle so it's natural. So you guys can see the higher we go, it's kind of red. It was a little bit over, so I'm gonna leave it about 5 over. Next is sharpness. Obviously, guys, it is what it says. How sharp is the photo? So if we go all the way up, guys, you can see it looks a little bit too fake. So we want to play with sharpness. I usually go up about 15 or 20. We just want to add to the sharpness of the photo without making it look fake. So you guys can see with 20, we get nice sharp lines, and we'll leave it right there. Next is definition. This is a cool one that you can use. I try not to go over the top with this because as you can see, it is gonna make it look way too gritty. But you guys can see with sharpness and definition, you can overdo it. So I'm just gonna add a slight definition again. We'll just go up about 5, maybe 10, and we'll see what that looks like. We just want to see that texture of the hair and different things like that. Next is noise reduction. I actually never use this feature. I think what it does, you can see that just added some blur. Again, I don't know these terms 100%. I'm not a specialist at this, but I think noise would mean kind of how rough everything is. So noise reduction is going to smooth that out, and you can see it's actually too smooth. So I'm going to put it back at 0, and we're going to leave it where it was. And the last one, this is what I was talking about a minute ago. I think it's called a vignette. But guys, what this is going to do is either make the border dark or make the border light. So I like to do this really a decent amount. I don't like to go this far where I can see it on the corners. I take it to where the corners are dark, but the subject in the middle is the focal point. Now guys, if you get this too dark and you feel like it is affecting the person in the middle, you can go back to brightness. Let me find it. And we can actually brighten up the inside and leave the outside dark. So I'm gonna call that one finished. I hope you guys can tell how much better that looks. I do believe if I hit edit again and touch the screen, it will show me the original. That's the original, there's our finished. And at any point, guys, you can hit edit, hit revert, and it will go back to the original photo. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna do it real quick and you guys follow along. All right, so you guys can see that's the finished one. I actually like this one a lot better than the first one. A little bit too light on this one. I like this, it looks more natural. And you guys can see how quick and easy that was. So at the bare minimum, you guys use this feature on your phone and you can definitely make your pictures look a lot better than we began with. All right, so now I've shown you guys the basics of editing iPhone pictures on the iPhone. For this next step, I'm gonna show you guys my camera photos and I'm gonna use an app that I like to use and show you a couple more things. Most of the basics are gonna be exactly the same as the iPhone editing. And I'll tell you guys, most of the time, even with my camera, I use the iPhone editor, but I'm gonna show you this app and show you a few more things that we can do. All right, so you guys can see we have the photos from the camera. I'm gonna go through real quick and we're gonna pick the ones we like best. That one's pretty bright and nice, except his mouth is open, kind of funny. He's kind of laughing there, but I like that photo. Actually, that one is similar shape and I like it better, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that one. This one I don't really like the angle as much. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. I like both of those right there, kind of the same angle. That one he's kind of smiling, so I kind of like that. You guys can already tell how much better the camera photos look. So his eyes kind of look closed there. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. Mouth open. Smiling. I think we have two smiling, so we'll see which one we like better. Now that one's really dark and I kind of have the, I don't really have it set up at the right spot. I like that one a lot. We have a lot from this angle, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that one. All right, so we got a couple smiling. Let's pick which one of these I like the best. I think that's the one. Let's go ahead and delete these last two. Still have quite a few to choose from. So we only have one from this angle, so that's the one. Now let's pick one of these. I think I like this one. And you guys can edit as many as you want, of course. That's why I would say take a lot of photos. You guys can already see though that the camera is a nice investment. It does definitely help. Just straight off the camera, this is what we got. And you also saw I moved the ring light closer and that helps a lot. So let's go ahead and edit these two. I'm gonna show you guys, the app that I use is called Snapseed. It is free on the App Store, and I would imagine that you can get it for Android as well. So here's the app, guys. We're gonna go to Tools, Tune Image, and all of these settings are gonna be the same as the iPhone. So down here, it does automatic. I just clicked at the very bottom, and now you swipe up and down to change the different settings. So we'll go ahead and swipe the brightness up. Contrast, we're gonna take it down slightly like we did, see a little more texture. Saturation, we're gonna leave. Ambiance, up and down. You can see we're just gonna see a little bit more. Really what ambiance does is makes it look like the light was even more direct on the client. So highlights are at 0. We're gonna take them down just slightly. Shadows are already up, and it is a little warm, guys. You can see way blue, way red. At 0, it's still a little bit red, so I'm just gonna take it slightly down. That's 5 down. His skin still looks natural, but everything looks good. So we hit the check mark, we're done with that. Now we can go to details. Here's our structure and sharpness. So again, guys, I'm gonna sharpen first, slightly, just about 20. We'll go to structure, and again, look how structured that does. It makes the skin complexion look funny, so we don't want to do that. We're just going to take that down. We just want a slight amount of structure, so I'm going to go to about 5 on this. Now we'll do the vignette, so we'll go ahead and do everything the iPhone does, and then I'll show you guys the rest. One thing cool about this app is I can do the outer brightness. I can set it where I want it. I can also pinch to change the size of it. So I can bring it down tight around his head. Also, if I swipe up, I can adjust the inner brightness while I'm here. So if it's too dark, I can go ahead and lighten it up and make it look like that focal point, that light is really right on his head. Now I can move it so I can make sure that I have the light where I want it. So I'll center his head in the circle. We'll be done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crop it. Same thing, guys, we'll just crop. It's gonna automatically go to square. We can zoom in and get a nice tight finished photo. What I'm trying to do is make sure that the distance between each side and his top of his head and his chin is the same. Hit the check mark and you guys see, I don't like that, so I can go back. We're gonna go view edits. I'll hit crop, edit, and I'm gonna move it slightly this way. Okay, so I like that. Now I'm gonna show you guys some extra things that this app can do. So one thing I like, not necessarily for a haircut, but you guys can see how cool this looks. If I do take a portrait of myself, or I'm showing off a new shirt or a new product, sometimes I like these. So actually I will use Drama 1. I will take the saturation and put it back up most of the way. And now I can take the strength of this down and make it a little bit more natural. You guys can see what that does to the photo. I think it looks super cool. Another thing I use this app for is healing. And again, guys, I don't want to get to where I'm photoshopping the photo, but let's zoom in and see if we can help anything in this photo, and I'll show you what it's used for. So let's say that he has a big red bump. We're going to use some freckles as an example. Let's say that's a big bump on the side of his face. For the healing brush, I can hit the bump and it's going to help me erase it and blend it in. So we're just going to get rid of his freckles just to show you guys. Or maybe let's say there's some hair on his eye right here. We can erase it and it will go away. So you guys can use that. If you got a picture you really like and you get on here to edit it and there's something on there that you don't like, you guys can come in here and do this to clean it up. I'm getting real detailed now, making my man's, you guys are seeing all up in his ears. So anyway, guys, you see we zoom out and it looks a lot better. So I'll hit export, save, and it will save that over top of the original. Let's go ahead and open the other one and I'll do it real quick for you guys. One thing cool about this app, I can hit looks, I can hit last edits, and boom, the same edits we just did go on this. Now sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and save it. I can go to tools, crop, we'll go ahead and crop it square. And there you guys can see how fast we just were able to use our old edits, and boom, there's a nice clean photo. So if I want to, I can hit this button, view edits. I can go in and I can change some of these details if I need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. Actually, I just undid those. So I need to click those back on, and boom, there we go. Nice finished product. And you guys can see, you can really make this look how you like. The way I just edited that, I did it how I like. But you guys can see we got some nice finished products. I hope you can take your photo game to the next level now. I know a lot of you guys struggle with taking photos or how to edit, so I hope this was helpful. If you guys like this video, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you think this will help. Make sure you guys subscribe. I got lots more fire content coming soon, and I'll see you guys next time.